Baze Malbus and Chirrut Imwe will be offered up to the toy gods. Let's pick a favorite, then take some photos with other Rogue One figures. Both figures are visually stunning out of the box. There's a lot to love about them, but there's also some major quality control and design issues. Let's start out with the good, which is two new awesome photoreal face sculpts. I really do appreciate the calm expression on his face. I think they nailed the eyes and the eyebrows. The photoreal is done exceptionally well from all angles. And as soon as you took him out of the box, I mean, you really felt like this was Donnie Yen. He was so calm and zen throughout Rogue One, even before he was about to dispense some butt-whooping justice. And I think this accurately portrays him very well. And right in line with Chirrut, Baze Malbus has another really impressive photoreal face sculpt. I love his long flowing hair. You can see lots of detail and ripples to it. The goatee looks great, and I really do appreciate the expression on his face. When Hasbro gets a photoreal right, they really do get it right. Baze also has a really impressive body sculpt. They did put the armor on the right shoulder. I love the color of the red they picked and how it flows throughout the figure. You can see it on different points in the body. The sculpt work on all the tech on his armor comes through really nicely. And I just like the synergistic look between his thigh, his hands, and then the chest armor. Looks like he's got an old iPod sitting there on his midriff, and pulling him back, it all works really well synergistically together. When you pull it in for a closer look, I really do appreciate the dirty wash that they put on the armor. I love it when Hasbro integrates soft goods with hard goods. When we get into articulation and posing, I'll show you how you can use this as a fulcrum. But having the soft goods allows you to kick out wide and theoretically should get him into more interesting and exciting poses. His tech hanging off the white belt is really well sculpted. I love the different colors and intricate details put into it. The white sash on his arm matches the sash on the chest, which also matches the technology he has on his arm. Again, everything flows and works synergistically together. I think aesthetically, it's very well designed. On these figures is some good, some bad. Shoulder kicks out, single pin elbow joint right at 90 degrees. Double pin knee joint comes all the way back. Nice rocker on the ankle. Movement is limited on the chest. It does rotate side to side, however, it's hampered by the sash and then the hard goods cape in the back. One of the things I really would have appreciated is better head tilt. He does move side to side. He rocks down a little bit, but his head doesn't tilt up much, and you get no head tilt at all. And I think with a figure who's blind, but communicates a lot through his expression and head tilt in the films, this is a big miss. Baze comes out of the package really stiff, so I had to run him under hot water. Articulation is very similar to Chirrut. Shoulder goes all the way back, 90-degree pin at the elbow. Does rock side to side, but it's pretty stiff and does get hampered when these get caught up against each other. But sometimes it's a trade-off. You'll get really great aesthetics, but it can limit articulation. So to me, that's fair. Double pin at the knee. Unfortunately, similar to Migs Mayfield, major quality control issue at the ankle. This thing does not rock or move at all. It just has a gap in here. So when trying to stand him, you have to find a pose where this foot can lie flat like this. It does move side to side, but you cannot get it to rock and move. It's totally frozen in place, whereas the other ankle you could see moves back and forth with ease. There's a huge gap here where there's no gap here. And Migs Mayfield has the exact same issue, and I'm going to show you why this is so disappointing, because once you put his accessories on him, it makes him almost impossible to stand. Baze comes with a removable walkie-talkie in the back, so be careful because that fell out pretty easily. And he also comes with this really cool large blaster. I really do appreciate the detail on the sculpt. I like how the red matches his armor. This is another example of the left hand and the right hand not working together at Hasbro. The blaster does not fit properly in the hand. The trigger finger does not go where the trigger belongs. The other issue is because of the way he's designed, he can't dual wield this at all. So if he's holding it, yeah, see, it's really awkward and you can't get him. And so you have this mega blaster that you can't get him to hold with two hands. Not the end of the world, but it does get even more frustrating than this. And one of the things I'm grateful for is this actually does fit in here nice and firm. Many times you get backpack accessories and they fall right out. The sculpt work and the paint work on this is glorious, man. I love the red color, how it matches the armor. You have silver and then really cool, I don't know, rounds of blaster ammunition that are sitting there in the back. The sculpt on it is really neat, has a nice ledge, and then the piping comes up. And from every angle, you can really appreciate this. However, this is heavy. You have an ankle that's completely immovable, and what happens is he becomes almost impossible to pose because of the weight on his back. The backpack accessory also comes with a hard good cape. does hang nicely off the side, and I think it does add a nice aesthetic. This really could have been soft goods here and could have been made to flow a little better because it is hidden unless you pose them from the side. So I'm going to show you guys another part here that is kind of frustrating. So you put the blaster in, it doesn't sit right in his hand. The trigger finger doesn't go in there. Again, I don't know how you design a blaster that doesn't fit in your hand. And then what should be really cool is plugging this chain into the bottom piece here. You do have to work at it because it's kind of flimsy and it's a tight fit. You can see that the blaster already popped out of the hand. So when I put it back in, you're now negotiating kind of the softness with the rigidity of the hand and the way it fits. So now we have it in place. However, when you go to move it up, either it's going to pop out of the hand or the chain's going to pop out of the blaster. It seems like somebody designed this, somebody designed the blaster, and somebody put hands on, and no one communicated with each other. So visually, does this look awesome? Heck yeah, dude. Look how cool he looks with the backpack, the chain, the huge blaster, but he can only hold this huge blaster with one hand. You have to be very selective with where you put his arm and how you hold the blaster. You absolutely can't dual wield it, and now you have to balance the weight on the back, the stiffness of the chain, the rigidity of the blaster in a hand where it doesn't fit, and I have an ankle that doesn't move. So when I go to pose him, I basically have to just try to tilt him sideways and forward. And again, I'm not a pose master like Sean Solo, but I can pose figures. But this is literally the best I've been able to do so far, is a little bit of a walking motion with him holding the blaster down. If I move this blaster up, it throws everything off balance. If I try to move his torso up or point him firing, everything falls out of line. Chirrut comes with two accessories. First one I wanted to check out was his staff. I really love how it looks like a piece of wood from a tree. It's got a lot of intricate details in it. You have a grip point in the middle and a grip point on top. I love the scene where he just beats the crap out of everyone with his stick. So this is probably how I'm going to point him once I have him up for display. I'm one with the Force is with me. So you could pose him in a variety of ways where he's standing stoically with it. You can get him up into like a good fighting stance. You can get him up where he's holding it above his head. Thankfully, both his ankles rock and he is well balanced. And then what's really cool is if you need to, you can use this as a fulcrum. So if you want to have him leaning in place like that, the hard goods cape in the back is a great tool. I want to overemphasize how much I appreciate the soft goods on this figure. Look at the flowing motion, the ability to move his joints the way you need them to get into a good pose. It looks more realistic, and it's so much better than if they made this hard good. And then you can see in the back, I'm using the cape as a fulcrum, so I can really get him leaning into that pose. And he looks so cool from all angles like that, doesn't he? Chirrut also comes with his beautiful shotgun blaster accessory. Whoever did this really loved this blaster, man. It's very finely detailed. The sculpt and paint work on it is beautiful. I love the way that the gold stands out with the black and the brown. Do have a grip handle here. Even at the trigger and the handle, it's just so well crafted and done. This does move outward, which I also find really cool. So Chirrut's hand grips it well, but once again, the people who design the blaster and the hands don't work together. You can see how the trigger finger does not hold it in place, which makes it a little wobbly and easy to pop out. Even though his shoulders open wide, the way that the shoulders articulate and are designed, it does not match up exactly right with the front handle of this blaster. Thankfully he can hold it, but look how awkward that looks. And I keep trying to play with it, and maybe over time I can figure out the right angle. I don't feel like I should have to have a degree in calculus to get an action figure pose with their accessory correctly. So even from the side there, it looks cool, kind of like a hip shot. So this is definitely better than Baze, and for what we're paying for these figures, I expect at least a B+, A- on the way that the action figure can pose with the accessories. Both figures have exceptional photoreal head sculpts. I think aesthetically they nailed Baze. Between the red armor, the white tech on his body, the pouch, and the aesthetics of his backpack accessory are awesome. Chirrut looks amazing with the soft goods robe. I appreciate having the hard goods in the back as a lever or fulcrum, and the tech off his chest looks great too. Accessories aesthetically are neat, however, they were not designed well for the figures to hold them, other than the staff, which obviously he holds very well. Baze is super limited on how he could hold his blaster, in conjunction with the weight of the backpack, the stiffness of the chain, and the fact that the blaster wasn't designed to fit in his hand. He's super limited on how you can pose him and how he holds it. Chirrut articulates infinitely better, so I think you can get him into way more fun poses with the staff. However, he's super limited with the shotgun blaster too. But the ultimate fail here is Baze's ankles, man. That is what just kills this figure for me.
And overall, I really do dig the Rogue One figures. And I can't get over how great the Imperial Troopers look together, with Krennic looking over them. Then we got Chirrut and Baze. And even though they have their issues, visually, they're knockout figures, man. And they're right on par with these. K2SO has always been cool. And then these two are kind of leave behinds, but I really do like her Edu outfit with the breathing mask.
Say, man, they look amazing with the Death and Scarif Troopers. And I gotta say, they look amazing with the Scarif Troopers. Let me know in the comments below which figure is your favorite from the wave, and if you could only pick one, what would it be? Please honor the toy gods by subscribing to the Nerdery.